know how you're going to fund your retirement? You see, most people over the years have become apathetic towards their pensions and how they're going to fund their retirement, and many people are now just burying their heads in the sand. My name's Martin Dodd and I've been a financial and pensions advisor for more than 30 years. I've worked with literally thousands of people, helping them achieve real financial freedom by making sure their pensions are working properly for them. We've identified three major problems with pensions. The first problem that most people are suffering is a complete lack of ongoing advice. So why is that a problem? Well, this is how pensions have been sold in the past. Your accountant, or perhaps a bank advisor or a financial advisor, has suggested to you that maybe you should start thinking about your retirement. And at the time you probably thought that was a great idea. I don't want to work forever. I'd like to retire by the time I'm 50. We've all had those conversations. But because of the way pensions advisors have historically been paid for selling pensions, has left them with very little incentive to look after you. So let me tell you this. Historically, pensions advisors have been paid their commission or fee literally when you signed on that dotted line. The first premium left your bank account, your financial advisor received their fee. Now don't get me wrong, they didn't really want to walk away from you at that moment in time, and in fact they probably contacted you 12 months down the line, suggested that they wanted to come out and see you, but we all know that they were only coming for one reason. They wanted you to buy some more pension product. But the reality is this for most people: life just does not change like that. In any 12-month period, even if our income has increased, the chances are we found other things to spend that money on. So at that review meeting, you probably said to your financial advisor, well, it's great to see you, but things haven't really changed all that much in the last 12 months, so I'm not going to change what I put into my pension. So Mr. or Mrs. Financial Advisor leaves that meeting and they think, well, I haven't actually earned any money from this meeting. Should I go back and see them next year? Probably not. So economics has dictated that financial advisor doesn't come back to see you. So before long, you think you've got a financial advisor looking after your pension, but you haven't. He's disappeared because he's had to go and find somebody else that needs some financial advice, perhaps to buy another financial product. So that's number one problem. The second problem is people very rarely understand what risk they're taking. Typically, we all will receive an annual statement from our pension company. It's usually a very thick piece of paper, most of which is unintelligible to most of us, but there are probably two pieces of information that you will understand. First of all, what's the value now and what the value was 12 months ago. Unfortunately, most pension companies won't actually tell you how your pension has performed in that 12-month period. It's left to you to work out how it's performing. And let me give you an example of why that proves to be a problem for many people. If you've received a statement and you've worked out the difference between this year's value and last year's value, shows an investment return of 5%, but you knew that the underlying markets where your pension money was invested had grown by 10%, I'm sure you'd be thinking, well, that's not a great investment. Why am I not earning 10% like the market? But let's flip that the other way. What happens if you get a statement and your pension value has fallen by 5%? Now, most people's immediate reaction will be, what are these people doing with my money? They're meant to be professionals. They're meant to be making money for me, not losing it. But let's for a moment imagine that you have fallen by 5%, but the underlying market has fallen by 10%. You still wouldn't be very happy, but you might be a little bit more forgiving. One thing I'm sure you would do is you'd want to know what would happen in 12 months down the line. You'd want to know that they had rectified that problem. Or at least you'd want to speak to a financial advisor to say, why has this happened? Should we be doing something different? Should we be changing our investment strategy? So that's the second problem. People become disengaged when they are getting information which is incomplete and not a great deal of use to them. And the third problem that switches a lot of people off pensions is charges. If we receive once a year a statement of papers that just tells us what the value is now, what it was a year ago, and a whole load of other information that we don't really understand, we could all be forgiven for thinking, what am I paying charges for? Or even, what are the charges? So a lot of people are very concerned about their charges. So the three main problems that people generally face with pensions is they don't get ongoing advice. The investment returns that they get, they don't know whether they are good returns or poor returns. And on the back of that, what should they do about it if they aren't great returns? And finally, charges. What charges are we paying? And are they fair charges for what we're getting? So my view is that if we are in that position, and there are millions of people in that position, it's important to review your pensions periodically. Where are your pensions? What is the value? What investments are you in? What risk are you taking? What investment returns are you getting? And what investment returns are you getting compared to the market? So I recommend that a review is undertaken to identify all of those issues and identify whether your pension is really on track for you, or is it just meandering along, and are you waiting just until you hit that age, 50, 55, 60, 65, and taking whatever pension fund comes your way? Or should a more proactive investment strategy be put in place where you know where your money's invested and you know how it's performing on a regular basis? And should we be making any alterations to your investments on that road towards a stress and worry-free retirement? You see, an investment that is great today might not necessarily be a great investment 3, 4, 5 years down the line. And here's another thing. Your investment risk attitude now will most certainly change before you get to retirement. So it's important to not only review where you are now, make sure your investments are on track and performing, but also to continually assess your risk to make sure you don't have any unforeseen falls in the value of your pension at the last moment. So a review of your pension now will ensure, first of all, you're on track, you've got a proper investment strategy, and you don't have any nasty falls in the value of your pension just when you're about to take it. So I hope you found this video useful and now understand that having the right investment process in place will help you achieve real financial freedom. You see, I'm not here just to sell you another pension. I've worked with literally thousands of people over the last 30 years and have helped many people achieve real financial freedom. So the content I've shared with you is real. It's a real practical guide on how to make sure your pension is working properly for you. So please download my free guide, How to Make Sure Your Pension is Working Properly for You.